Good morning, Facebook. I did not want to come out and do this today. It is cold and wet, and while Josh and the team have been working out in it all day, I have been pretty nice and warm and cozy by the fire. But that is how much I love you and our donkeys. This is interesting because we just got these gutters worked on. It doesn't seem like, but I guess it's just the wind, right? No matter how good the gutters work, there's an open space. All right, so I have something very controversial to say. For those of you that are with me, I hope you're sitting down. For those of you that are against me, get your fingers all worked up to start sending me some hate DMs, because I am coming at you strong with the controversy this morning. But I have some favorite donkeys. I'm going to name them. And this boy, Ugo, is on that list. Hi, Ugo. Hi. I do think Ugo and Miles are starting to buddy up. Hi, buddy. Good morning. Hi, Miles. Hi, Macy. Good morning. Hi. Hi. So here are my favorite top 5 donkeys on Oscar's Place. Radar, Ugo, Francis Simon Watson, Viejo. And, well, that's 6. But Viejo's just assumed, so then that's 5. And Radar has a pending adoption, Francis Simon Watson have a pending adoption, and Ugo, as soon as he can, will have a pending adoption. Hi, buddy. So for those of you saying we're not supposed to have favorites, what? What are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? Stop. Ow! Ah! Charlie! Charlie bit me! And that really hurt. It really did hurt. Um, yeah, there you go. There you go. So Ugo was in quarantine. We moved him to this is our laminitis pasture. And he doesn't have laminitis necessarily, but he is massively overweight and has bad hooves. So that's laminitis territory. And so he's over here where they have a very heavy straw diet instead of green grass. And they walk on a lot of pea gravel when it's not this muddy. And at first, Sylvia and Beatrice were being kind of bullies to him, but everyone has settled down. Hi, buddy. Ugo. Ugo. Mwah. My baby. My baby. My baby. Will you get some of that red tube that we're using to do spot treatments? And just put it right here on him. Buddy. Ugh. Miles. Babe. Bet. Hi, babe. Hi, Sylvia. Hi, Miles. Hi, Bet. Hi. Good morning. Hi, Bud. Hi. 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 You're so sweet. You're so sweet. You got a nice trim. I heard you were very well behaved. Sylvia, has Jeremy not gotten to you yet? Oh, she is hateful. I think if we were to have Miss Congeniality, whatever, names, she would be Miss Grump. She's just a grump. I don't mind. Hi, Kate. Hi, beautiful. Hi, Kate. This is Kate, Beatrice's daughter. And this is Beatrice. Hi, Beatrice. How are you? I'm glad you didn't get your sister's grumpiness. They're all pretty wet. But they have enough space. Hi, Ugo. I know, Beatrice is a bully, and I wouldn't mess with her. She's 4 times your size. Hi, Macy. We have a watch list, which is the next 5 donkeys we think will leave us for the Rainbow Bridge. And it's not always imminent. But it's important for us to be able to prepare. And Macy is at the top of that list. Although she's on lots and lots of pain support and she's got big old boots on. And I think she's doing okay. It's interesting who she's calling out for. All right, Beatrice. Okay, Kate. I say these donkeys are wet, but not the little ones. Kate and Babe are perfectly dry. Am I good at this or what? Am I good at this? Yeah, do you approve? All right, fine. All right, let's go down here. So, our friends at Terringer Farms have adopted this group of 5, 6. And I saw something really cool the other day. So, Phoebe and Rachel are a bonded pair that we rescued. And we rescued them along with Olive and Charlie. So those 4 were bonded. I don't know how they're related. Definitely Olive is not the mom. Um, and then there's Pancake and Paula that came from another rescue. And so they're all going to the same home. What I've been noticing at about 4:45 every day is that Pancake and Phoebe have become besties. They play so much. So normally that's concerning to us. So when bonded pairs bond with other donkeys, it makes us uncomfortable because, we don't want to separate bonded pairs, and we always think about, do we want to separate these if they go to different homes? But in this case, the reason these guys are all down here together is they're all going to the same home. And so it's really pretty special that Phoebe and Rachel, Phoebe specifically, have let in Pancake. So you got three little girls just being adorable. Hi. Hi. Paula, you are ruthless. Hi, Pancake. Hi. So this is Pancake. She's one of the most unusual color donkeys we've had. Beautiful red hair. This is Rachel. Such a fuzzy, sweet fuzzy baby. Sweet fuzzy baby. This little funny looking paint is Phoebe. Hi, Charlie. Hi, Phoebes. Hi, Olive. Hi, Phoebe. Hi, Charles. Terringer, this is just a great group of donkeys. Um, so much personality with Miss Paula going to be your biggest troublemaker. She is very food motivated, very vocal, loves her baby though. She takes no shit from anybody, a lot like Paula, our volunteer. Hi, Paula. Hi. 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 Mwah.
Someone acquired donkeys overfed at the zoo.
I don't have any idea. I think that donkeys' diets are a huge misperception globally. You showing us how sweet you are to Rachel, to Phoebe? This is what you call bonded donkeys. Hi. Hi, Olive. I'll come say hi to you. I think that people think donkeys and horses have the same diet and that donkeys should graze on green grass and be fed lots of grains. And of course, none of that is true. Why a zoo doesn't know better, I have no idea. This is Olive. She's probably the chillest of the whole group. She's very pretty. She's definitely part of the group. But she just is chill, minds her own business, keeps Charlie in line. Hi, Charlie. And then Charlie is the only boy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 girls and Charlie. You okay, Charles? You okay? Hi, babe. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Don't you dare bite my cheek. Don't you dare bite my cheek. Hi, Charles. Hi, Charles. We are having, I hope this doesn't drop like a lead balloon for Terringer, but we're having UC Davis come out in a couple of weeks, actually, and we're going to do 100 dentals because we need to catch up on our dental strategy. And while they're here, they're going to pop an ultrasound on this one. She didn't get pregnant here, and she very well could not be pregnant. She very well could just be her body's filling out because she's finally eating proper nutrition. But we want to know if we're sending 6, 7. I don't know. I hope that I've talked to you about this possibility. I'm a little bit nervous as I'm saying it all out loud. Hopefully I've talked to you that this is always an option with rescue donkeys, but we'll find out for sure. And then if you are like, that's too many, we want to leave 2, I get to choose which 2 stay. So, Phoebe, Rachel, be aware that if Olive's pregnant, you might not be leaving. I'm completely kidding. Um, it's a lovely group of donkeys. Honestly, I have always said, to me, there's a huge difference from going from 0 donkeys to 2 donkeys. There is not a huge difference from 2 to 4. Now, 6 this is a little mini herd, but they're all young, they're all healthy. They've got really amazing personalities. It's a really great adoption, really great group. What's bothering you, girl? What's bothering you? Oh, oh, I see. I see. Pancake is gorgeous. Gross. I know. Hey, Pancake. Hi, baby girl. Hi. Hi. All right. Let's go to 5, and then we'll go to 6 for Instagram. We have stopped special feeding for Paula. We just needed her body condition to improve a little bit after auction, and it did. And then she had an extraction, so we wanted to keep her nutrition up. She's completely healed from that. And it really just brings on bad behavior, so we stopped it. I don't think she's very happy about that. So much like the pasture we just left, all of those donkeys are going to the same place. All of these donkeys have also been adopted. Not all to the same place, but for the time being, we are using this pasture as sort of a transition out pasture. We're doing it for a couple reasons. Originally, we did it because there's a giant hill over here, and Jojo has a slippy patella, which is basically sort of like his hip comes out of socket easily. And there is a surgery to repair it. Of course, just like humans, you want to avoid surgery if you can. And the surgeon at UC Davis said that 90% of these cases resolve if they basically do physical therapy, if they walk up and down hills and strengthen those muscles. So we wanted to move Jojo down here because of that hill so the guys can walk him up and down the hill every day. So then we moved Jojo's whole family. Then we already had Frank and Holte down here. They've been adopted, so we didn't move them back to the boy pasture with all the other boys because, they should get used to each other and living together and not make other friends before they leave. And then, because we have a little bit of overcrowding in pasture 1, we moved Mary Lou, Molly, and their 2 babies, Boone and Jeff, down here. So all these donkeys have been adopted. Hi, Jojo. Hi, buddy. Hi. Oh my goodness, he smells like perfume. Yeah. The other day, one of the donkeys I was talking to, Giddy's, had a lipstick kiss mark on her nose. He smells a lot like perfume. Somebody was hugging you yesterday. That's hilarious. Smell his mane.
I can smell him from here.
It's a lot. Somebody was loving on you. Somebody was loving on you. Oh, were you scandalous? Bow chicka bow bow. Hi. Such a sweet baby. So I have favorite donkeys at Oscar's Place. Jojo is one of my favorite donkeys. Maybe I should say I have favorite donkeys per pasture. In this pasture, I have 8 favorite donkeys. And you're one of them. And you're one of them, except when you smell like perfume. What? What are you doing? What are you doing? All right, who do we have over here? Jojo's mom, Lorraine. Hi, Mama. Always one of my favorite. Looks like maybe Boone and Molly and EO. Hi, guys. Hi, Boone. Hi, Balls. If it will stop raining, this is a really nice pasture for you guys. It just kind of sucks with all this rain. Hi, Boone. Boone is the one that Kenneth and I delivered. He was stuck. What time is it? All right, so um, if you're a guardian, then yesterday we had a meeting, and during that meeting we celebrated both life and death. Uh, the guardians got to see a recording of Stetson's birth, which was super fun to share. I was out of the country and was watching it on my phone, so I screen recorded on my phone. And Cassie clearly had had a baby before. She walked around a few times, took a bite to eat, spread her legs, and squirted out a baby. And it was a 6-minute delivery. It was really incredible. Um, and also yesterday morning, we lost Elijah. So Elijah was one of our donkeys we rescued in February. There were 3 boys that were separated from their mom: Elijah, Samwise, and Frodo. Um, and if you remember the drama at the auction, Elijah was the one that sort of slipped through the cracks, and then we got him. And then we got him here, and he was very sick. And he went to the hospital, spent 2 weeks in the hospital with pneumonia, both bacterial and viral pneumonia. During all of the scans of his lungs, they found a heart defect. So he had pneumonia and a heart defect, and was weaned from his mom too early, and had had a really rough start. He came back here. It was really intensive hands-on treatment done primarily by Josh, who was holding the phone. He had to be temped twice a day. He had his respirate taken twice a day. He had 2 different inhalers 3 times a day each. But we followed doctor's orders and did exactly as we were told. And he was improving. The last 3 or 4 days of his life were really good, and all of his metrics were good. And yesterday morning he was dead. And yesterday was probably the 2nd or 3rd hardest day I've had since opening 4.5 years ago, or 4 years and 2 months ago. He's gone, and we're devastated. We did send him to UC Davis to get a knee cropsy for 2 reasons: just to answer some questions for us, and also because it's helpful learnings for the future, both for us and for UC Davis. And so we sent him to find out exactly what went wrong. We are, yeah, that's all. It's part of this. It's interesting. Josh and I talk about this, how you do become jaded. Now that doesn't mean we don't feel it. Like we felt yesterday. It put me in bed, really. Um, but you do also somehow figure out how to put all of that in a little compartment in your brain and in your heart because there's 189 other donkeys that need you. So that's what we did. Samwise and Frodo were with him and with him to the very end. I think we gave him the best shot at love, and we definitely gave him the best shot of care he ever could have had. He was bought by the kill pen at the auction, so we kept him from that fate. And we lost him. So rest in peace, Elijah. And now we'll go over to Instagram, and then we'll go check out some of our boys and head up to the barn and see the new babies before we head off. Thanks, guys.